Back with another Savage stream. Thanks everybody for tuning in and everybody that's liking, sharing, commenting on my videos and subscribing to my channel. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. In tonight's video, I'm on a roll actually. This is 3 nights in a row and it was a struggle, but I did it. But it's probably gonna be a super fast video because I just want to, the thumbnail's a little bit misleading because you're probably thinking like mining shares. I'm not talking about mining shares. No. I'm talking about issuing shares of a company on Ravencoin. Remember, we are basically starting up this company on the Ravencoin network, testnet, for PocketChangeXD, and we're going to try to implement all the capabilities of the Ravencoin network, the asset layer, or the asset issuance and management and all that stuff. Basically what, Ravencoin was designed for. And that's what we're in the process of doing. We've already done the NFTs. We did that part a few weeks ago. You'll just have to look back if you're interested in like getting up to speed with where we're at with this whole project. You'd have to look back through the videos and look at the ones that are saying Ravencoin assets or something like that is the name of it. They're pretty recent, within the past month or two. All of those will probably apply to what we're going to kind of cover tonight. Super fast. I just want to kind of run through this because we need to make some progress on our little company here. I kind of stalled it a little bit. I haven't been as active as I should be. Other things have been kind of taking priority. But before we even get started on that, I'm still seeing some stuff online about tomorrow, being April 1st and everybody's supposed to redirect their hash power and all that stuff. We called that off like 2 months ago or whatever it was. I forget. Not that it was any type of weird thing anyway, but we are, as far as I know, we are not like doing the whole redirecting Ethereum or Ethash power to Ethermine or none of that stuff. A lot of people were already on Ethermine anyway. But yeah, I think that's like a non-deal. I saw an actual article about it today, and I'm like, I probably should mention that we're not actually doing that. Not that it was gonna work or anything anyway, so it's not a big deal. So anyway, hey, what's up, Max Voltage? What's up, Crypto Mining Noob? Tains, what is going on? Yeah, it was a little bit of a clickbait title. It was accidental because I created the thumbnail, and then as soon as I was like uploading it, I'm like, wait a minute, people are gonna think I'm talking about like shares, like mining shares, and so that's why I had to say it up front. Anyway, so let's check this out real quick. We're gonna go over here to our testnet wallet. This is testnet, guys. Don't think that I have 2.8 million Raven, because I don't. This is all testnet. And one thing, I kind of asked you guys, and I haven't been contacted by anybody, but I asked you guys if you want to like participate, because I really need other people involved. I've got a way that I can do it without involving other people, but it's not as slick as if like I'm sending someone else, on the network, the assets, and maybe they can go on their channel and talk about what we're doing. Kind of like I did that with Red Panda Mining with his Ravencoin asset, his actual Ravencoin asset. I did it with SerpentX. We did a whole scenario of using the restricted assets feature of Ravencoin. So we really got into it, and I really want to do it again. I want to, involve other people. So all you need to do is fire up the testnet wallet and sync it, and then we can go from there. Let me know what the address is. I can document it, and then that way I can kind of send assets as we go through this. Anyway, just want to throw that out there if you guys wanted to participate in some way. All right, so we've got our company set up. The name of it is PocketChangeXD. You got different, I probably should bring up the actual, that's what I forgot to do. Let me go in my drive here. I've got a structure for this. Let's see if I can find it real quick. It's been a minute since I've, addressed this or did a video on it. So give me a second here. I haven't looked at this today, so I did like zero prep here, guys. All right, so this was slideshow for how we were going to structure everything. This is what it looks like now. You know, we've got these sub assets for each different category or different department in the company, and this is all messed up. I wonder what happened to the formatting. It's kind of weird. Maybe it would look right under Chrome. Anyway, this is under Brave. But we did the whole NFT thing. We created an NFT, and you can see that over here. If we click on, like, this is a organizational structure right here. So if we created several of them. Remember we did the Beeple 5K. Let's see if that's still out there on IPFS. Looks like it is. So that'll build. And then there's, you know, like the PCXD logo, the PocketChangeXD logo. Click on that. That's an NFT as well. You can see it up here. It's in IPFS, just like most NFTs are, except this is on the Ravencoin Testnet. So it's kind of neat. And what else we got? We did like a black logo, I think, or yeah, the shirt. That's right. And we did, these are all basically NFTs, okay? And then we did also the white paper for Ravencoin. Okay, cool stuff. So that's kind of where we're at with it and the structure. But what we needed to do is we need to issue shares from the main company, just like you would if you were an actual business, you know, a corporation. Not that this couldn't be an actual business, it could be. But even if you were like a corporation, you could implement something like this, okay? You know, basically tokenized shares is kind of what we're talking about. I'm kind of wondering if we should do it at this level or create another sub asset for the actual company. I would assume it needs to be up here for it to be structured the right way. I don't think that we should put it underneath. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think over there in the comments before I actually create it. I want to see what you guys think about that. Okay, so my name starts with triangles. IPFS. IPFS is Interplanetary File System, and it is a peer-to-peer file. It's not really file sharing, but it's a file hosting network. And basically, once you upload something to IPFS, it can live there forever. Now, there are some caveats where if it's not pinned, you know, and if the data is not accessed, then some of the nodes on IPFS, you might be at risk of your file being removed from those nodes, from what I understand. But you can host your own, you know, you can just fire up your own IPFS node, which is, I'm trying to do it right now while I'm talking. And here, there we go. So this is just IPFS node. We've got the files in here. Like this is the shirt that I referenced. Now that was still out there on IPFS because I didn't have this running before. So it was actually out there whenever I clicked on this shirt right here. This is IPFS. It's out there. It's not. This did not have to be running for me to access it. So it's actually still stored on IPFS, which is cool. But I would suspect that at some point it probably wouldn't be because this stuff is not accessed very often. So you would have to host it most likely yourself. This was a really good example because if anyone's aware, this NFT here sold. This is Beeple 5,000 days or something like that, and it sold for like 67 million. And this is actually the actual file. I'm referencing the actual NFT in this IPFS hash up here. It's the same one from the actual file. So on the Ravencoin Testnet, I have an NFT for this specific picture, which is crazy if you think about it. You know, so whenever you buy an NFT, you're kind of buying the metadata and stuff like that. Like that one would not be worth anything because it's not the one that was bought. You see what I'm saying? Like the data that is actually in the token itself is what you're actually paying for, and not the actual art in some cases. Now, I guess Arweave or something like that. I guess that they have a way of storing a specific file, but you still, if it's on IPFS, then anyone's going to be able to access it. So I think that there has to be some way of securing it to where only you have a copy of it. I don't know. I haven't dove that far into it, but it seems like that would be something that they would implement at some point. Anyway, so these are on my IPFS node right here on this computer that's actually hosting these files. But again, they were actually part of IPFS because I didn't fire this up before I accessed them through the Raven wallet. So whenever you're creating an asset, you get to, if we go over here, let me show you this real quick. We go over here to, let's pretend to make a main asset again. Then if you click here, it says add IPFS transaction ID hash. So right here is where you would put that, I think it's called a CID. You would put the CID, usually starts with a QM. I think they all do actually, QM. And then you would copy that. That's what would go right here of the file that you upload that you want to attach. It could be a PDF, it could be a movie file, it could be some type of other document, it could be a GIF, it could be a JPEG, it could be whatever. It could be whatever you want it. As long as it could be stored on IPFS, then you could get the hash to it and put it in here, and now that becomes a part of the asset. And in this case, it would be a main asset, top level asset. So that's the way that works. It's super easy. You can only reference one document or one IPFS hash, so everything has to be in there in that one. Like for example, the Raven white paper right here, it's a long document. It's a PDF, and that's what's actually out there on IPFS and hosted in this specific asset right here. So that's why it pops up whenever I click on it. And that's the way that works. All right, now that I'm back on track, we need to decide how many shares we want to have for PocketChangeXD company so that we can issue them at some point. I'm going to be sending them to other users on the network. Oh, thanks. My name starts with triangles. Thanks so much for the super chat. I think that's what that is. It didn't come up and say super chat, but okay. Thanks so much. Yeah, I think that we would probably go with something like, I was doing a little bit of research. I'm not a financial guy at all. I think that starting a company off, like, let's say that we felt that the company was worth 10,000 US dollars, right? Oh, there goes the super chat. Thanks so much. So let's say that we thought it was worth about $10,000 at the time, and we could issue any number of shares that we decide, right? We could say, okay, $10,000, we're going to issue 10,000 shares. So they're $1 each, right? Is the way that you would look at it. And so we could do that. We could start with like a 10,000. That way we would have not so many, like a 5 million or something like that. And the way that this works is we're going to have to reissue this asset because right now there's only two total assets underneath, or two, a number. The only quantity is 2 of this specific asset. So we are going to have to reissue it. So I think we have to right click and do reissue asset. I believe I'm doing this right. Stop me if I'm wrong. And we're going to call it 10,000. So we're going to go 10,000. Now there are already 2. So if we want to even it out, then you can see over here what's happening. Total quantity right here is changing as I'm typing over here. So if we wanted to even it out to specifically exactly 10,000, then we need to go 9998 probably. Yeah, see, so 9998 up here, and now we have 10,000 perfectly right here. So this is the current settings with 2. The updated settings over here are going to have 10,000, and that's the way we're going to do it. We are going to leave it reissuable because in the future we might want to change that. And then what we would want to do also is, I think that, don't we have the, I'm going to have to find, actually, let's see. I'm going to get out of here. We're going to come back here in a minute. I'm going to look at we need to look at this right here. Okay, so this is also in IPFS. And this is our articles of incorporation. So we need to include this with our reissued asset. Does that make sense? Because we're basically reissuing the same asset, and we don't want to lose that document. We don't want to lose access to it. And I don't think, yeah, okay, so here it is. This is it right here. All right, cool. So what we have to do is copy the CID again. All right, so now we can right click on this, reissue asset, go 9998, verify that we got 10,000 over here, leave it reissuable. We might want to increase the number of shares in the future. We're not going to put any decimals on here because we're doing whole shares at this point. We can change that later if we do another reissue. Okay, and you can see here it costs 100 Raven. That gets burned. Now again, this is testnet, but on the mainnet it works the same way. So that 100 Raven gets burned. It gets sent to a burn address that's inaccessible. So it's basically essentially taken out of circulation. So it costs 100 Raven to reissue a main asset. So then we're going to come in here, click the box for change IPFS, change it. Actually, you know what? We might be able to. I wonder if that's. I wonder if we can just leave it alone. We're going to test it because this says change IPFS. So if we don't want to change it, maybe we can just leave it. And actually, it's telling us that down here. If I would be a little bit more observative of my surroundings, I would have seen that over here, the IPFS hash stays the same. Okay, so it's fine. So we didn't need to go and grab that IPFS hash. Now, if you were going to change it, like let's say that because we are incorporating or because we're now issuing shares, we need to have something else in our articles of incorporation referencing share issuance or whatever, you know, some type of a change to the document, then we could come in there, upload the new document to IPFS, throw it over here, and then put the new file hash over there. If that makes sense. IPFS hash. Okay. Hopefully I haven't lost anybody. I think we're good. So we're going to go reissue asset. You can see right here it's going to cost us 100. We're going to go yes. And okay. And then after some confirmations, you can see right here there's going to be some question marks. There's also going to be, eventually it'll be like a little clock counter here. And then eventually it'll start, I don't know if it shows up. It actually does go ahead and show up in here. So right here you can see that there are now 10,000 PocketChangeXD. So basically we have 10,000 shares, 10,000 individual asset shares of PocketChangeXD. So we're going to be able to issue these shares to the owners that invest in PocketChangeXD. That makes sense? Then we could also break it down like this, because all of these are sub-assets as well. If let's say that, for example, we could break off our 3D printing company here and just have shares of that specific one on its own. We could do that as well and have investors of each one of these different organizations or different departments of this one overall business. So hopefully this is making sense. I know I'm kind of going crazy here with the terminology and all that, but I think you guys are following me. I thought these collectibles, I thought we did away with this. I thought we burned this because we changed it to NFT. Let me see here. Let me look at our document. Let me look at our structure here. Yeah, we changed it to NFT. Okay, so maybe I was going to show burning these. Maybe that's what it was. So we're going to burn collectibles and collectibles NF because there's a 30 character maximum here. So whenever you're planning your name in Ravencoin, you have to be really precise and really think about what you're doing. Because we had a really long name here, PocketChangeXD, and then we try to put collectibles. I think there's 30 characters maximum in the whole entire structure. So if you're going to go like super deep and have a bunch of different departments or organizational structure, then you really need to plan it really well, right? You can't just start naming stuff. It's not like normal internet stuff where you can have or Windows stuff where you can have a 255 character name or a path. It's not like that. It's like 30. I think it's 30 maximum. So you really have to plan it. We didn't plan it. If I would have planned it properly or better, I probably would have shortened this PocketChangeXD to something else. Definitely to give us more room for the rest of the departments. All right. So what I would do if I wanted to burn these is I want to go and let's see. I think these are. Am I doing this right? Let's see here. Let me think. I think I am. All right. So let's go and, oh, you know what it is? I was wondering about the exclamation point. So what's happened is I think we burned the tokens underneath, and this is only the admin asset. Maybe that's what this means. I think this is the the admin asset of this particular name right here. Okay. So what I would do is I go over here to transactions. You can find a burn address, like for example, you can find where the 100 was sent to. The address that it was sent to was N1 reissue asset. You could actually use that address. I don't know if they want you to do it like that, but you could, because this is a burn address. I think there's other burn addresses like for actually sending assets that you no longer want or whatever. But let's see here. Yeah, see, this is a burn address too, and it's actually different than that one. It's kind of weird. I don't know, maybe there's like several different ones, but I'm gonna use the same one I used down here. All right, so then we're gonna go back over here. We're gonna send this asset. Can't send it because it's an admin asset. I think I ran into this before, so right now we're kind of stuck. I think I will have to investigate how to get rid of these two right here. I don't think. Let's see here. Was that one? Yeah, see, I think what you have to do, yeah, I'll have to look into that. I think you have to send this asset first. I can't remember the order, but I think however I did it, I didn't do it right. Because these are like, you should be able to right click on it and do send asset, and I can't. I'd have to look into that. That will be for another day. But we accomplished the goal. We wanted to create some shares to issue out from our main company, so that's cool. And we'll be doing this, over a period of time. We'll be expounding on this and setting up some cool stuff. I think it'll be neat. Eventually, we'll get into the whole restricted assets, the security token offering capability that Ravencoin has on the network built in already, and being compliant with guidelines and SEC guidelines and all that. We're going to do that in this little scenario as well. The restricted assets, tags, all that stuff. We're going to go through that again, and it should be fun. I think it gives people like a little bit more insight into what Ravencoin is all about. This stuff has been here since the end of 2018, so this is not like new developments or anything. All these capabilities have been here for a long time. Restricted assets was, I think that was last year, like 2019, or is that at the beginning of last year, or I think it was the beginning of last year, 2020, where restricted assets, that was like a development that was done fairly recently. I think that was the last thing that was done. So cool stuff. We are going to stay on it. We're going to keep doing this and show all the capabilities of Ravencoin. Hopefully some developers will look at this type of thing and go, oh, okay, I get it, and want to actually develop on Ravencoin because it's a lot less expensive than other platforms for doing this type of thing. We need a nice interface. We need, user interface type stuff, layer 2 capabilities on top of Ravencoin to do all the asset management, because no one is really going to do it like we're going to do it. We're doing it basically in a Qt wallet. Actually, not basically, we are doing it in a Qt wallet, which some people like it, but I don't see large companies doing it this way. They need to have some other interface with the network in order to make things make sense. You know, like for example, I'm trying to get rid of those admin assets with the exclamation point after it, and I'm getting no help. I can't just put my mouse over it and get help or anything like that. Just little things like that that will help the user interface and help the users use Ravencoin like it was intended. You know, because here I am now, I'm kind of stuck. I'm like, okay, I gotta go do some research and figure out. I think what I'm gonna have to do, just so you know, I think I have to reissue the asset, give it some assets, and then I have to burn the admin asset first, not all the tokens underneath it first. So I think that's the way I have to do it. I pretty much do that every time. I've done it before, and I'm pretty sure that's the way I did it. So anyway, all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I will see. That's 3 nights in a row. That's pretty good for me. And I do 3 like this. I don't do 3 like that. That's a weird way of doing 3. I don't know. I don't get it. That must be, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah, weird. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. It's 3 days in a row. Tomorrow night will be 4. Maybe we can get back to fully 5 days a week. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow night. If you thought that this was educational, entertaining, funny, I don't know, I'm not really that funny, but you know, at least somewhat knowledge, a little bit of knowledge thrown out there. If you learn something, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and all that cool stuff you guys know that you're supposed to do. As viewers, I will see you tomorrow night. Stay savage, everybody.